going on, guys and girls? Cody here with some free-for-all on WMD. We're going to be talking about this in my How to Play Like a Pro version 2 format. If you don't know what that is, basically I just break down key points in the gameplay where I feel like I could offer some tips and just discuss them in some greater detail. Okay, so let's have a look at my class setup. We're using the FAMAS with the teal dot, not red dot sight, Scavenger, Sleight of Hand Pro, and Ninja Pro. I don't have the Scavenger Pro because I don't really use the perk that often. I think it's a great perk, but not quite as invaluable as it was in Modern Warfare 2. So we're going to take a look at an aerial view of the map, and have a look at my spawn position in relation to the enemy player's spawn position. Okay, this green area here, that's where I'm spawning, and this is an okay portion of the map. There are some cover points, but there are a few wide open areas that we'll have to watch out for, because if we got all these little red areas here, and all these represent potential spawn points that we could that the enemy players could have. We're going to want to check these areas and try to clear the area out before we move on to another portion of the map. It's very critical, especially in free-for-all, because the way that enemy players are going to be constantly spawning around you, that you make sure an area of the map is clear before you move on. If you don't take the time to do that and you kind of rush through an area and don't, pay attention to certain spawn points and camping places and things like that, you might miss somebody who could easily come up behind you and kill you just like that right there. So you've got to really watch out and pay attention to the area around you. And that's kind of what we're talking about here today, situational awareness, and even more specifically environmental awareness. Let's see an example of that. Okay, we're getting engaged in a fight here, and I kind of wide open right here, so I wanted to immediately start backing up toward the nearest part of cover, and that's this wall I'm highlighting here in red. And even though I don't necessarily need the wall, don't even really use it, I still want to be able to put myself in a position where, had something gone wrong, had I missed my shot, or whatever it might be, I could have easily been close enough to that wall, got behind it, reloaded, reassessed the situation, cleared my head, and got back into the fight with a better chance of winning. Being able to recognize where cover points are in the middle of a fight is very crucial. Now, we've talked about the use of cover quite a lot on this channel, and we've talked about map awareness, and we've discussed some situational awareness. However, a lot of times that can be very difficult to pay attention to when you're in the middle of a fight. The only way to get really good at learning where cover points are while you're in the middle of a fight is just to play the game and really learn the maps in as great a detail as you possibly can. It's very hard. A lot of times, if you find yourself in a situation, you've got to make a quick decision on the fly, and we're going to see an example of us doing that right here. We're starting to head toward that door, and I noticed just for a split second a guy coming up the stairs here. Now, if we go out this window here, we'll be wide open. We'll have a clear shot on the guy, but we'll be wide open with no cover whatsoever. However, if we come this way, we don't have quite as clear a shot. That little green dot area represents the only portion of him that we can actually see. But we've got all this red space here that's going to represent our cover. Alright, so we've got a decision to make if we want to sacrifice the amount of cover we have for a better shot, or if we want to try to protect ourselves first. And look here, the guy had his sights focused right on that door, and he was anticipating on us coming out that door. So basically what we did is we kind of anticipated what he anticipated us to do, if that made any sense at all. We expected him to expect us to come out that door, so we back up, keep ourselves behind cover, and decide to risk missing the shot in order to keep ourselves alive. And that's kind of a learned thing that you have to do, because you've got to learn when to, you got to kind of pick your spots, I should say. You got to learn when to take cover and when to get out there and try to make the kill. We'll see another example of this right here. We just fired a shot at this guy. I believe we clipped him. But in any case, it's an unsilenced weapon. Somebody with a headset could easily determine pretty much where we are and know that we're here. And if we did clip him, he'll definitely know that we are right here. And we don't know where he's at. He's disappeared behind the wall there, and we don't know if he's going to come back to us or whatever. So we've got to make a quick decision before he comes back and tries to take us out. Now we're kind of close to this wall. We can either take cover behind the wall to the right of us, or we can move over here. The difference between the two is I would have a greater amount of cover behind that wall. But I would completely limit my visibility on the guy, and I probably wouldn't see him coming until it was too late. But however, if you notice right here, you could see us a little bit better. My cover isn't quite as good as it would be behind that wall, but it allowed me the chance to take the kill. So right there again, you've kind of got to decide, as you know, on the fly, how important the kill is for you at that point in time. Being able to prioritize, the situation. I don't know if that's really the right way to put it, but being able to assess the situation and decide if it's worth taking the kill, or if you can find a better way to go about it. Either avoiding the conflict altogether, or taking a different route, whatever the options you might have. And a lot of times you've only got just a split second to decide what's going to be the best course of action for you. And again, just the only way to really get to a habit of being able to make those quick decisions is just to play the game a lot more often. The more you play it, obviously, the better you're going to get at it. Alright, I want you to notice real quick, as I'm moving here, each time I pop around a corner here, I've got my sights up. I don't always have my sights up, but I'll move around a corner very cautiously. I see a lot of new and more inexperienced players just rush around corners without thought or care about what's on the other side. Here's an example of what happens when you just rush around. The guy kind of took me by surprise. I didn't have enough time to line up the shot, and he took me out rather quickly. So you really want to be paying attention to actually what's around you. See right there, even though I didn't put my sights up, I strafed back and kept a wide-angle view so I could see the area from a wider point of view, and be able to determine if the area is clear or not. Alright, I'm just going to show you this point real quick. Interrupt the theme right there. This area right here is a great point if you're looking for a place to hide, to call in your air support. If you're not looking for somebody in that area, a lot of times somebody won't see you. A little great position here, and you pretty much have to get up on top of that platform to even notice that somebody was there, unless you went up there looking for them in that position. So I know it's a little random, but I just wanted to point that out for you guys. Little tip. You're welcome. What? I don't even. Oh my gosh, what was that? Anyway, had a kind of got way off track there. So let's get back on track. We'll finish our chopper gun. Just kind of fast forward through that. Didn't really get a lot of kills with it anyway. Okay, so right here, and I kind of start making some mistakes here, and I do this quite often. It's a mistake on my part that I've got to work on fixing after I get my highest kill streak. If it's gun, chip, dogs, whatever the highest kill streak I have set up. A lot of times after I've reached that high kill streak, really I just stop carrying quite as much, and I start rushing out there and becoming more careless, and I could really increase my KD a lot more. If I continue to play throughout the match the same way as I did to get those kill streaks. Like right here, we've got this cover here highlighted in red, clearly in view, and what do? I get in front of it, not behind it. I could have avoided being killed very easily there by keeping myself behind that cover. I could have gone prone behind that, whatever that thing is, whatever that structure is. But anyway, I could have gone prone behind it, crouched down or something, avoided getting shot, at least to some degree, and really increased my chance of surviving that fight, and maybe even getting the kill myself. Alright, so let's look here. Here's some more situational kind of awareness. we got to make a quick decision. We each missed our knives, and we each missed our shots on each other. So I've got to decide real quick what's going to be the best course of action to avoid getting killed in this situation. I've got the steps right here, and that's pretty much the only point of cover I've got. So I immediately drop down to the steps. Being able to recognize, and you notice that I did not see the steps there. They were not in my view, but I knew they were there. And you know, most people who have played this map enough are going to know that the steps are there. But that's just a small example of being able to know where cover points are without even having to look at them. And it's very important if you want to improve your gameplay, to be able to know where these cover points are without looking at them. That all comes with knowing the maps really well. And again, you just have to keep playing them until you figure these, you know, little points and areas out. If you had taken the time to look around and decide, where can I go to keep from being shot, I probably would have been shot by the time I turned around and saw the steps there. So learning these areas does help out quite a bit, and being very situational, environmentally aware will keep you alive, you know, in pretty much every conflict, every gunfight that you find yourself in. Right, it's very easy to avoid getting hit if you are in a situation where you're in a gunfight with somebody, and you don't have to take the time to look around and find your cover. You can just immediately move to it, get to your cover, reload whatever you've got to do, and then jump in there and pick out the fight. And a lot of times you can also, while you're doing that, you can kind of read body movements on the characters. You know, just like in real life, as a character is moving, you'll notice that their body, if they're strafing and whatever, or moving forward, their body is always facing in a particular direction. You pay attention to the direction that their body's facing, and a lot of times you can kind of anticipate, watching their body, watching their feet, anticipate which way that player is going to go. And it's a skill that takes a lot of practice, you know, to master. But in any case, if you pay attention, watch their body language, decide, and you kind of anticipate where they're going to go, you can kind of move in quite the opposite direction. Get yourself behind cover, because with your environmental awareness, you know that cover's there. You get yourself behind the cover and take the guy out before he even knows what hits him. I really don't know if that made any sense, but if it didn't, if any of this didn't, then go ahead and ask me in the comments. Feel free, I'll be glad to answer any questions. But that was the end of the game. My score was 30-7. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and thanks for watching. Peace out.